Hey, Tiff. All right, let's see. I'm going to wait 1 more minute, and then I'm going to start talking a little bit about Kat before I give her a call. So, 1 sec. All right. Hey, Bruno. Let's see. All right, hold on. Good, Bruno. Thanks for asking. All right, so I'm going to start off. Before I give her a call, I'm going to speak to her. Well, I'm sorry. I'm going to speak about her really quick. Hopefully some more people log in. I know that for some it's a little kind of early since a lot of us are going to sleep kind of late, waking up a little bit late. It's not like the interviews before that were a little bit much later. So give me 1 sec. But I did want to speak about Kat before I called her. And I do want you guys to know a little bit about her again. So I met Kat at Monroe. And once again, we played at Monroe together, which is in New Rochelle here in New York. 1 year together. It was my second year, which was her first year. We got to play 1 season together, which was in 2014 that we ended up winning nationals. From there, I went to a different school because my 2 years were up, and she stayed to play an extra year at Monroe. So she was actually able to go to 2 different D1 schools. She went to Louisville, and then she went to UCF. So a little bit about her accomplishments: 2014 national champ, 2015 NJCAA part of the Final Four team, 2015 All-American. You have in Louisville, she played all 18 games for her season in the NCAA D1. Then you have University of Central Florida, United States Coach Association All Southwest Region First Team, which is huge, American Athletic Conference Co-Defensive Player, and then American Athletic Conference First Team. That was in her season with UCF. And then she did get to play in, I believe, 2018 and 2019. She did play a few games for Brazil. In 2019, she was able to go to the World Cup, the 2019 World Cup, which was hosted in France, and she played for Brazil. And right now, she is currently playing professional in France. So that's huge. Huge accomplishments for her as well, starting off with, college to where she's at now. So I'm going to give her a call in just a second, and I'm going to just pull up the questions first that we have for her. So hold on. Let's see. Calling her now. All right. Hopefully I got a good connection. Kat!
Hey!
Hey, Kat! How are you?
I'm good.
Let me get comfortable. What are you up to? What are you doing?
Just waiting for this event of the
Oh,
day.
wow. Got me here all excited. What you been up to? How are you? How's your family doing?
Here everything's good. We've been good. Nothing coronavirus in the family, so that's a good thing.
And you're in Brazil right now, right?
In Brazil, yes.
In Brazil, okay.
Because of the whole situation in France, I decided to come back and stay with family and also take care of them here.
Right.
And I've been doing my thing here, trying to work out a lot, prepare myself mentally, because I think both is ideal.
And how long ago was it that you went back to Brazil? What was it, a few weeks ago, or was it very early on when all of this was happening? What?
It was, I think, a month ago. I came back a day before they closed the borders in France. I was like, okay, I have to go before things get bad. Yeah.
Right.
So I decided to come.
Absolutely. And how often do you get to go home though? Before all of this happened, how often would you go back and visit family?
Since I started to play professional, it became easier to come back home. So every time I have free free time. No, like free time, but like I'm on vacation, I come back home and I spend time with family. But before that was pretty hard.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Hmm.
So I have a couple of questions for you that people have been sending out, and a few questions that I brought along from questions in the past, other interviews that I actually really enjoyed, and I would love to see your response to it. But before we get to that, I did want you to kind of speak a little bit about, your journey in terms of, where you're from, how'd you start playing soccer, right?
Hmm.
Where you've played so far, and what you've been up to and what you're up to right now. So I would love for you to
Hmm.
share that with us. I try to give a little brief description, but every time we start any interview, I get nervous. I know I start stuttering and I start, maybe giving information that's not fully accurate. So I would love for you to just kind of tell us what's up. Like, what's up with you? How did it all start? Like, tell us.
So I'm gonna start to introduce myself. My name is Kathleen Sousa. I'm from Brazil, São Paulo. I'm 23 years old, almost 24 soon. Uh, I'm a defender, but I'm also learning how to play as outside back. And I started to play soccer when I was 10 years old with boys. I started to play futsal. That's how I started in the game. And I played sometimes football, soccer, the field, the big field. And then when I was 18, I went to US to play university. And I think you did like a brief of everything that I did in US. I went to
Yeah.
Moreton College, played with you for 1 year, and I had 2 years there, so I did 1 year after you were gone there. And after that, I went to Louisville, a D1 school, and that I didn't fit me well. I didn't have a good year, or not what I expected. And I decided to go to UCF. That was the place that I became, I guess, the player that I wanted to be.
Yeah.
And after that, I became a professional soccer player, and I went to France and I played professional, and I still playing professional there. And happens World Cup in between. But yeah, that's a resume of the whole thing from 2014 or to
And
the
now.
beginning of my
All right.
career in journal and everything.
Yeah, so if you don't mind me asking, because it is kind of one of the questions, what made you decide to
Hmm.
go to the U.S. to play? Like, why the U.S.? Why not stay where you were? Like, what was it? Who, matter of fact, was it your parents, or was it a certain coach, or was it, you know, some friend or something that pushed you to be like, because that's a big step to leave Brazil,
Yeah,
right? To leave your family. Were you good at English? Did you speak English at the time? Not so much, right?
still
Yeah.
learning.
So to decide to be like, I'm gonna leave home, right? I'm 18.
Hmm.
I'm gonna go away. I don't speak English so well, right? I want to get out. I want to not go 2 hours away. I want to fly across and be far away as possible,
Hmm.
which you probably didn't want to be far away as possible. But why that decision of being like, let me go to the U.S.?
So I was 17 years old, almost 18 years old. There was in the moment that, okay, now is the moment to start to work, to start like making my life, make money, you know. And here we had a club called Santos that they're back, but like they were done. They didn't have that team anymore. So it was just like, okay, what I'm gonna do? That was like the big option that I wanted to try after, you know. And so I was in the period like, okay, I guess I have to stop play soccer to really start to make money and start to like do something with my life, because I was playing futsal yet, and futsal is not big yet, you know. So I was like, okay, I have to do something with my life. I cannot just be like, okay, I'm gonna be playing futsal, but like not have anything to do. And like women's soccer is not like a big career. You're not gonna play for 20 years. You're gonna play for
Right.
10, 15. Some players like Formiga, the Brazilian player that play until 40, 41, 42, 43. But I was in that moment there. I was like, about to like, okay, I'm gonna stop and start to work because I don't see any future here for me in soccer. And I was playing futsal with a local team here, and a coach told me about Next Level. That's a company here that works with like scholarship in other countries.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how I decided, because I was like, okay, I have the option to study and also keep like following my dreams and not stop from playing, you know? So I can do both. I don't have to like choose one or another. So that was the moment that I was like, okay, I have to do something different. I have to go out of here. That's why I decided to go to US.
And what was that like? Like that once you made that decision, right?
Mm-hmm.
I can imagine, right, that you were a little intimidated and you were like, here I go. But once you got there, from what I remember, right? I remember you came, you were practicing with us and everything, super friendly, English, we were getting there, right? But you always, the thing is that your attitude, and I could tell you this from very beginning, you had a very friendly and a very like, I'm going to try to be overly friendly and I'm going to try to interact with these people. Because one, that's right. If you stay quiet, you probably never practice your English, right? If you're competing and you're talking more, like that's how you practice, right? All these type of things.
Mm-hmm.
Now,
Yes.
how was it once you got there? Like, let's just talk about maybe your first 2 weeks in the US at Monroe, right? How was that? Like, were you crying? Were you too happy? Like, what was that feeling? Tell me.
I think it was a little bit of both, but I was most like scared because it was like totally different. Like I couldn't really speak to another person there because I didn't know the language. And like the culture is different. So it was just like something very scary, but like was a challenge that I decided to do so I couldn't give up or something, you know? But like the 2 first weeks, I was just like, okay, I think I want to go back home. And like, you don't want to show that to people around you because you're like, you want to be strong. You don't want to be weak. But like, it's hard because you cannot speak to another person. So it's just like, you're there with surrounded about like a lot of people, but like you're alone, kind of, you know? But after that was okay. The beginning
Now,
was hard.
Now, let me ask you in terms, so we spoke already about emotionally, right? Mentally,
Mm-hmm.
where you were at and how that experience was. But now, if we talk a little bit more about, and I just see that text right now put something, was Monroe what you were expecting? Like, that's kind of the question that I'm asking. What was it in terms of soccer? Like, soccer-wise, like training and the soccer environment, we would train with internationals, like the boys, right? We were doing a lot of stuff where most of our time, if it wasn't in the classroom, it was on the soccer field, right? What was that like the first 2 weeks? We're talking about like first 2 or 3 weeks. How was the training like compared to, you said, I was playing futsal, but futsal isn't huge yet, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're like, I was playing futsal with the local team back home. So coming to the US, did you feel like you were in shape? Did you feel like this was different in like what sense? Like how was that soccer wise experience for you those first 2 weeks?
I say that when I got to US, I felt like I play ball. I didn't play soccer at all, you know, because like I play futsal here. I didn't know anything about like the big game, the big soccer field, you know.
Right.
I also like fitness level I didn't have at all. Like was my first contact with the gym when I went there, and it was a big like experience that I had there. So it was like completely different for me because I learned like a lot of things there, like fitness level and like learning about the game. Because I always say like in US, you don't just play the game, you study, you know, you have meetings about the game. It's not just like, okay, let's play. No, it's not that. It's studying, it's dedicating the gym, it's dedicating on the field, it's dedicating in the classroom, it's everything.
Yeah, I
So
like that you
very
added
hard,
that.
yeah.
I like that you add that it's a little bit of everything. It's not just because this is one thing that one of the reasons why I like doing these interviews, right, is because we kind of hear coming from, it's me as a coach telling, you got to do this, that. But when you have an actual player saying, it's more than just stepping on the soccer field. It's more than just, you know, giving a good pass. Yeah, it's what you do outside of the soccer field. Do you go to the gym? Do you do your homework on the computer in terms of watching game, watching tape, right? Like you added all of that, which is great that you point that out, because that is part of, you know, the reason why you are where you are, right? And one thing that I'm going to keep bringing up, we were talking about what you were doing before the US, which was futsal, right? You come to the US, apart from it being a different environment soccer wise, right? It's different in general. It's like joining a different club team, different styles of coaching, different styles of players, different attitudes, so on and so forth, which this is one thing that you, if anything, have experienced. So you're going from futsal, you're going from a JUCO college, you're going to then two NCAA D1 schools, right? And then you're going to playing for the national team, right? Brazilian soccer, to now playing soccer in France. So we're talking about different, not only levels,
very different
styles, right? That you have to adapt to, that you have to learn to either work with, or kind of what I believe Carol had said in the last interview, to make you a complete player, picking certain things that really helped you out, maybe in this league, maybe in this level, maybe in that team, and try to pile it all up in one to where you are now, right? So I really love that you bring that up. I really love that you're bringing up all these things, all these different factors in terms of being a good soccer player, because I think that a lot of athletes, much younger athletes, need to understand that it's much more than just practice. Of course, get on the field, use the wall now that we're indoors, right? Get a ball, use your ball, do stuff inside. But I think that they also, it's good for them to understand and to hear people say, hey, watch games. Hey, do your research. Try new things, right? When you were at Monroe, you played center mid. Yes?
Exactly.
Center mid, right? Because I was playing behind you. And then you go to the D1 schools in Louisville?
I play center forward.
Center forward, okay. And then you go to UCF. What were you doing there?
Center back.
Look at this. Like you're going everywhere, right? And that's another topic that people bring up a lot. Like at the younger age, I know that one question that was asked was, should you focus on just one position, or should you focus on everything? And everybody has a different response to that. But you, in a much older age, right? Like not old, but you know, you're already at the college level. you had to learn different positions, right? And I'm sure that it was a lot of work for you, right? To really understand what a position meant and what it required and what was expected of you in general, right? So in order for you, whenever you had to learn something new, a new position, how did you work? Like, how did you work through that? What was it that you were doing to really understand the game, to really understand the type of runs and the type of, you know, pressuring or positioning that you had to do? What did you do to try to learn all of that?
To learn since the beginning, like, because I always been a center mid, kinda, but I came from futsal to the big field in US, you know, so I had to adapt to that too in the beginning. And it was like a lot of training, studies. It's not just like, okay, I'm gonna play like that. I did like, my first practice wasn't like the best one, you know. I was improving through time. It wasn't like that. But I guess like study, like see like YouTube videos from like players that I like it, and I knew like they played in this position and also played well in this position, you know. And also like from players that was in the team, like I played with Mel there. That was like an exceptional number 6, and I had like to learn a lot from her. And she was like small, and she was like very good. So I was just like trying to adapt and learn like here and there, like watching around kind of, you know. And if you want to do something, you gotta do your best, and training, of course.
Which brings me to, because you're mentioning about how you're viewing all these type of stuff, and you just finished off your sentence with saying, when you want something, like you'll find a way and you'll make it work, right? So I'm going to bring up something that I observe from you a lot right now, right, in the present, that you tend on your social media, right, like especially your Instagram, you post a lot of videos of you working out, of you doing some type of exercise, of you, I know recently you put up something training with your mom, right, that you got her into training with you. So I see that on your story, you put videos of training, doing some type of workout, you know. one of the questions that was sent out to me, which relates to what I'm talking about, was from J Nas 18. And he says, what keeps you motivated every day to keep training? So again, with all the stories that you're putting up, training and doing all of this, and one of the first things you said when we started was that you're trying to stay active. What is it that motivates you? Like why and how?
I think it's just like I know what I want to be, and I know that like I have a potential that I didn't achieve yet, and I know that I want to get there. I want to be the best version of myself as an athlete and as a person. So I'm just trying to work every single day, because I know if I stop 1 or 2 days, it's gonna be hard. I'm gonna lose time to get where I want to be. So that's why I train every day, and I post on Instagram sometimes, not every day, but like most of the times, to like kind of like motivate people. Like I try to motivate my mom to get back, because I started to play soccer because of my mom. She was a goalkeeper, and then I watching her growing up playing soccer, and then I become one soccer player too. So she stopped playing, and she's I'm not saying getting fat, but like it's not about getting fat, but like unhealthy. So I'm starting like helping her to get back to activities and like keep herself like moving. So that's why I keep like posting, and also like what keeps me like moving and motivating is find the best version of myself as an athlete, is as a person.
And I think that it's huge, you as like, an influencer, because I mean that is what you are, right? For younger children, for other athletes, not just young, of all ages. But I think that it is so important for somebody that, has the fans that you have, right? You have people that look up to you, that you're showing that regardless of where you are right now, right? You're already playing pro. You're playing professional. You played for your national team, right? But that doesn't stop you from wanting, and you said this, wanting to get better, because you're saying, I have this potential that I haven't reached yet, right? And that just shows that one thing that I remember Garber used to say was that we got to eat, right? We got to eat. And that was all about just every day is a day to get better. Every day is a get, right? So I think that attitude as a professional athlete is the reason why you are where you are, because you're like, I'm at home. I'm with my family. I could be doing whatever I want, but instead I'm making sure that I am taking 30, 40, whatever minutes of the day to do what I need to do to get my job, to get the work done, right? And then enjoy the rest of the day, which I think it's so important for athletes to understand that. That's the mentality you have to have on vacation, off vacation, during these type of situations. You got to get it going. One thing that we spoke about with Carol on, what was it, on Monday, I believe, was that we were talking about injuries, right? The type of attitude that you have during injuries, right? You can either lay down and be upset about it, or you can try to find a way to
Get
work
back
around
up.
it.
Yeah.
Same thing now in the situation that you're in. You might not be practicing with your club team. You might not be in France doing what you need to do, but you have a space, right? Whether it's your living room or whatever the situation is, right? You're healthy, you're fine, no injuries. You got to put in the work. You're going to put in the work, and you're doing that. So I love that. I love watching, going on Instagram and clicking your story and see that you're doing stuff, because it makes me be like, I think I'm gonna get up today. I think I'm gonna do this, which is great. So yeah, that was one of our questions, and I love that question too, because he did ask what keeps you motivated, and that response, I really like that response, because I think
I think sorry. I think that like being an athlete is not just like, we don't do just for fun. It's a lifestyle that you choose. So you gotta take all the way in. It's not just part-time job. It's like a thing for life that you choose, because like you say, like I'm an example for a lot of kids. I don't want to let them down. I want to show them that okay, this whole situation of coronavirus, you're home. You can still keep moving and prepare yourself to the big future,
That's absolutely correct. I love that. Here's a good question. We're going to get more into kind of your career, right? Let me see. I just want to make sure that I'm not asking the same question over and over. Here we go. Okay. I like this. This question is pretty good. So we spoke about your transition from Brazil to US, right? From Monroe to D1 NCAA, right? Now, tell me the transition and the attitude that you had when you were invited to play for Brazil. What was that like? How were you scared? Were you like, oh, like this is it? Like, what was that? That from feeling from getting, whether it was a phone call or a text message or email, whatever the situation was, to you stepping to the first practice session with Brazil. How was that?
I was very happy, very scared, but like it's a dream, you know. Every girl, every boy that wants to play soccer, they want to play for the national team. So it's something that I wanted to do, and my attitude was just like, okay.
Uh-oh. Hold on, let's call her back. Let's see. We lost her for a sec. I hope you guys are enjoying everything that you're hearing and you're sending out more questions. If you have any questions, definitely send those out. All right, let's see if she answers. Let's see. I have some really good, interesting questions for her. I hope that we reconnect right now and I'll be able to ask them. I did also get questions in French, questions in Portuguese that I had to try to use Google Translate to figure out what those questions were. So if they're not accurate, I am so sorry. Let me see. Let's see. Let me tell her to send. There we go. Thanks for your patience, guys. I appreciate it. Thanks, Tiff. Let's see. I hope that we connect. There we go. It says connecting. All right.
I'm back. Sorry about that. I don't know what happened.
Listen, this is like the first time of today when the previous ones I had like 3-4 times that it happened in one. So I'm glad that we've done this one.
Let's keep on that.
But yeah, you were telling us about your experience, the first experience and thought of Brazil national team.
Wait, it's because it's bad. I'm gonna try to call again.
Okay. At this point, guys, I think I'm gonna be an expert of Instagram Live on disconnecting and connecting. Here we go.
And good? Now, yes, I think so.
Okay. All right. You can hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. So you were actually talking. You were telling us about the Brazilian national team and your first thoughts and your, attitude and what that was.
So I was telling you that I was nervous, but happy, scared, but happy, because like I said, all the soccer players, they want to achieve the level of playing for the national team. And I had the opportunity, so I just wanted to show my work because they gave me the opportunity for me to show my work and do my best there. So I just did what I had to do.
Tell us a little bit about, no, not a little bit. Tell us a lot about that World Cup 2019. Your first World Cup, right? Your first World Cup. And you were starting as a center back, was it?
Yes.
That's a huge, not only accomplishment, but that is a huge position to play in the World Cup. Like, we're talking about you competing against top players of the world, right? Representing their countries. what was that like? Because I mean, you could have already played some games with Brazil. I know you played some friendlies with them and some
Yeah.
games before the, but that's nothing like the World Cup. Like, and then to top it off, one thing is that women's soccer is growing so much. So I know that these stadiums were filling up with crowds, like just people from all over, male, female, like little kids, all ages. Like, tell us everything. Tell us what the experience was like. Tell us what the heartbreak was like. And I'm sorry that I used that word, but you know
Yeah.
what, because it's all part of the journey, right? From playing your first game
Yeah.
to your first loss or whatever the situation was. What was that like?
So it was a dream to play the World Cup, you know? But like you say, like I had like some friendlies and like I played some games here and there, but like I haven't played like a whole game, or I haven't started for Brazil yet, you know, and I started at the World Cup. So it was like a big step to do
Right.
for young player, you know. And but like I guess was easier because I was surrounded like good people and like people with experience that showed me that okay, no matter what happens here, we got your back, you know. Like the players around me showed me that, so made it easier for me to play the games. But I confess to you that I was pretty nervous at the first game because like you don't know, and like as you say, as a center back, it's like a big job. You cannot like make a mistake there because it's like close to the goal, anything, you know. But I guess it was a dream, and like they made me comfortable enough to do my best and like not be like holding myself back and be too scared to play my game, you know.
And then when you say they made, you're talking about your teammates?
My teammates, yeah.
Your teammates. So, what was it like when the World Cup ended for you guys? What was that? What was that? And listen, I
Like you
have to
said, it's
ask
a
this question.
heartbreak.
I have to ask this question because I can tell you
Hmm.
that there's some of us that, apart from obviously representing the country, I don't like to lose even a card game, right?
Yeah.
Nonetheless, you know, playing in it being your first time, right? I'm sure that you had tons and tons of emotions. But was there one specific, apart from heartbreak, right, that you felt as a player? Like, was it that kind of thing of what maybe you could have done, or what, like, you know, self blame or anything like that?
Of course, like we always want to do more, but like I was sad for losing the game, but like I was so happy, like proud of the team because like you could see like we play like 120 minutes. We didn't play like even 90 minutes. We played 120 minutes. We played overtime, and we did our best. We fought until the end. So I was like sad for losing. Of course, nobody wants to lose, and like especially at the World Cup.
Right.
But I was like so proud of like my team, of my country, because like I also like I was receiving like message from people like for all the support that like people back home was giving to me. So I was so proud for being there and like being around those players that was like everyone was doing like their best. So I was like sad of course for losing, but
Right.
like I was proud for being there and like doing my best too.
Yeah, no, of course. I mean, it makes sense that you would be upset of the results,
Uh-huh,
but at
yeah.
the same time, I think that it would be so unfair to not at the same time be happy for
Yeah.
yourself, right, as an athlete and for your team, because like you said, the game was an incredible game, right?
Hmm.
And it just comes to show why the top teams with the top players are competing at that level and competing in those type of tournaments and why it means so much, right? Um, so I'm gonna ask you. We're gonna get a little because you know I even got sad for you there. My heart was broken for you too. So we're gonna add a few questions that I think are interesting to ask because they're I think tricky. So this is somebody sent me out this question that I'm curious to see the response. It says, "Who was your favorite coach and why?" And we're talking about like your whole
Hmm.
soccer career, like from
My
Brazil
whole
to where
soccer
you are
career.
now?
Mm, that's hard. I hope they're not listening. I'm kidding. Um, but like I guess like I learned from every coach, but like I said, at UCF, I had like a great year there as a soccer player, and like personally was like a big step. Like even like the coach trying me to play in the position that I am playing and being successful today, you know. So I guess Coach Tiff, I can say she was one coach that taught me a lot, and I also chose UCF because of that, because her work ethic and like the way that she show and like try to introduce her experience with the national team to the team. So that's like my favorite, one of my favorites, let's say like that.
Good
Coaching.
way to position that. Okay, let's see. I like this one. She actually sent me this, was one of the first questions that was sent out to me. And she's really curious. I think her name is Sanjna. Sorry if I say it wrong. She wants to know what your highest juggling record is. Do you count? Do you count?
I don't count. But
But
I was
okay.
like, okay, keep going.
No, don't tell
Can we
us.
change
Tell me.
that?
What do you think is the minimum you could do? Like the minimum.
Minimal. Ah, come on, I can do like, let's say like 30 easy, but like I don't know the max. I don't really like how I even lose the count, but like but like the truth, like when I was young, I was awful at that. So I'm getting better still through the time, but like I don't really know. I don't really
Okay.
know like
I mean,
the amount I can do.
that's an answer. At least we can say 30, right? So we'll stick
Yeah,
to 30. Okay.
at
Here,
least.
let's see what else. We have I like this question. I think this is such a good open question for anybody, right? It says, how does athletics, right, or soccer specifically, make you a better student or worker?
Um, I can say that as an athlete, you have to have discipline to do everything. You have like time to like appear in meetings and stuff like that. So I think the discipline from an athlete they can like learn to be and like introduce to a student is like important. You know, their work ethic because we go all the way in, we do everything right or try most of the times. So I think that's the thing.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think that sports in general, like you said about the discipline, showing up to practices on time, that can, come with you in terms of showing to work on time, right? Showing to work on time or showing up to class on time, right? Things like doing training sessions, right? Apart from when you're practicing, you do training sessions at home, right? So it's the
Yeah.
same thing, let's say, in the sense of school. Um, in school, apart from what you do at school, you also kind of have to do your own type of studying at home, right? Maybe
Yeah.
for a test or whatever it is. So I really like that question because it really does make
And
you think.
also, as a student athlete at university, you have to have an amount of GPA to play. And that's important because one push another. You cannot just be like athlete. You have to be an athlete and a student. So that's one thing that you really learn, and you have to do like perfect both, or
Right.
almost perfect.
Well, no, and it's not easy. It's not
Yeah, it's
easy
not
because
easy
what?
at all.
You're traveling so much during season, you're traveling so much, you're practicing a whole lot, right? And depending on what your schedule looks like, some days you're waking up before you have to even go to school to go to practice. So it's a lot. It's a lot, which is one of the reasons why I always think that you should take a lot of pride in being a student athlete. There's
Yeah.
so much to be proud of because not a lot of people could do that. Not a lot of people can, be a full-time student, full-time athlete, and do good in both. Sorry.
Yeah.
So I like that question. I really like that question because I know that for me specifically, playing soccer at a young age to who I am now and who I'm trying to be, a lot of it has to do because of the lessons that I learned while playing soccer. And I think that that's with any sport in general, not just soccer. I think, like the question says,
Yeah.
How does athletics make you
Yeah.
a better, student or worker? So I really like that question. Let's see. Let's ask some fun questions here because there's so many. I like this one. I asked this one to Carol as well, and she had made me laugh on this one. But do you have a specific playlist or song you listen to on game day?
I actually don't,
Huh.
but I like to most of the times listen to Brazilian music because it's like makes me happy because of the beats. But I don't really have. Sometimes I'm just like listening to speech. Like today, I
Okay.
went to run and I went to learn run, and I was listening like to speeches of like motivational speech to keep me moving. So it depends of the day. Some days I feel like I need more, so I feel like a type of playlist. Some days I feel like, okay, I just need a little, a little thing. And then I just play a Brazilian music that makes me dance and get going.
Yeah, I
But
like
yeah, it
that.
depends of the day.
There's a lot of good on YouTube specifically. There's a lot of good motivational videos. I I always used to watch at least one or two like motivational videos before a game. So I hear you on that. I definitely, I don't think just like you that I have a specific playlist or anything like that. But the motivational stuff, I really like that. And I like the fact it's interesting that you can go run and listen to that. Like you're running and you're hearing, you can do it. Like this is just the beginning. Like
But yeah,
to be
it's
running
because
and
like today I woke up and I was just like, okay, today's gonna be a hard day because I don't really feel like going out, but
uh,
I'm not gonna, let myself down. So I'm going, but like, okay,
right.
I have to listen to something that's really gonna get me going. So I just feel like it's like,
That's good.
you're not kidding. Those type of things. I'm like, okay, I'm not running.
Yeah, I'm not gonna. I got it. 5 more minutes. Yeah, I love that. I love that. Here's another one. Oh, I like this one because I guess this is a fan of yours. Ju LSR wants to know if you enjoy playing in France, which is where you are playing professionally right now. So, do you enjoy that?
I feel like I learn a lot, so I'm enjoying to learn with like other players, enjoying to play a hard league that's France, playing against Lyon, playing against PSG. Of course, it's not easy to go to another country that you have like to learn a new language and everything, but like I guess at the same time it's good because you have the experience that like maybe if I stay in US I wouldn't have the experience of learning French. So yeah, I enjoy, but of course I have like some hard times sometimes, but I enjoy. Yes.
Can you tell us a little bit of what it's like to be, first of all, and I had to ask this on the last interview as well because it is so hard to pronounce. Can you pronounce to me your club team's name, the full thing?
Gironde de Bordeaux.
And that's the way you say it in French?
Yeah.
Or is that just the way you say it?
That's the way that I say actually.
Say it again.
because like some people say Girondins.
Okay.
There.
Cheeto.
But
I
Gironde
can't
de
do that.
Bordeaux. Yeah.
Yeah. Sounds
But
too.
a lot of people say like Bordeaux Alps, Bordeaux, because it's
It's hard.
different. But yeah,
It's
it's hard.
hard.
But it's Bordeaux.
Tell us a little bit of what your like schedule looks like playing for them. And what I mean by schedule, I mean like practice sessions, recovery, like, do you guys watch film? Like, what's it like being whatever you just said, the name of the club, because I cannot pronounce it. What's it like being a
Bordeaux.
player for them?
Uh, um, so I'm gonna say my day at Bordeaux. I wake up around 6:37. I have to be at the club around 8:30 because we have to have breakfast together at 9. And then at 9:30 we have a meeting about the session, about something that happened the day before, and that happens until 11 p.m. let's say, around 10:30. And then after that meeting, depends on what time we finish, we're going to the gym. We do like some workout or like prevention stuff, like to not get injured. And at 11 we have to be at the field and start practice, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And we have like 2 hours of practice, an hour and a half depends of the day, 2 hours and a half depends of the day, you know, depends of the work. But like,
We're losing her again.
can you hear me?
You got cut off for like a few seconds.
So that's my morning. It's all about soccer. It's all about preparing for training, and until 12:31. And then after that we get to go home, but in the afternoon we have time like for going back and do like treatment if you need. So it depends on the person. Yeah.
How would you say how important is recovery for you specifically? Do you do?
Wait. It's because it's getting.
Scratchy?
I'm gonna call again. Yeah.
Okay. Let's see. All right. Let's see. Should be calling back soon. What is it? We have about 10 minutes left, probably shorter than that. So again, I appreciate you guys sticking around with us. All right, she called back, should be connecting. Let's see. There we go. You hear me?
Yes.
Great. So yeah, I was asking you, how important is it for you, like recovery?
I think it's very important because, but like, I guess every athlete knows like their bodies. Like some athletes need to sleep in the afternoon instead of like do some extra workout, you know. So if for me, I had sometimes I go because I have like some problems on my hips.
Okay.
So I go like to stretch because I need like a better stretch for that. But I think it's very important to be completely and ready athlete for the game. You have to take care of your body.
That's a good response because you said it yourself. Every athlete is different. And I think it's very important to pay attention to what your body is telling you, whether that is, you know, you need to rest today, you need to get in a nice bath, or whatever the situation, stretch a little bit. You know, you're talking about certain issues that you go through, which I'm sure at this point you've learned the proper ways to take care of your body.
And still learning because
well,
yeah.
Of course, yeah. Which again, there's always room to learn, and especially with the whole body thing on how your body's going to react. Like, that's important. I didn't learn any of that up until I met our first trainer, Vinny. Like that, I would ask, why does this hurt? Why does this feel like this? You know? So yeah, it's really important to pay attention to your body. And I think that's just in anything, not just in sports, right? Even with work, like when you're overworking yourself and just that you need an actual break, that I'm hoping everybody right now during this situation that we're going through is getting. So let's see. I know we're running out of time, so we have like about, I think, 5 minutes or so. So I'm going to ask you just a few like simple questions that I just think that is super interesting to hear. Hopefully they're not complicated in any way to answer, but I think that I like asking this question because it's important to hear the type of attitude that you carry, the type of attitude that you deal with, the attitudes that you deal with through your players. But the question is, do you think attitude is a factor in winning? And when I think that the question doesn't just say winning in terms of winning a soccer game, but I think it's just in life. Correct. So yeah, do you think attitude is a factor in winning?
Yes, I do think that, because in life you're gonna have problems, so you gotta take an attitude positive of trying to make things work, you know, like in soccer, sometimes you're not gonna find the right pass, something's gonna go wrong, but like, are you gonna be like complaining about it, or are you gonna change and like try to do better next time, you know? So it's all about that. You're gonna just like, okay, see a problem and okay, it's gonna be that's gonna stop you, or you're gonna try to like go back there and solve the problem and keep moving, you know? That's what I take.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I agree 100%. I think that having a attitude, the proper attitude is huge in any situation, right? We keep on talking about certain like downfalls that you might go through, certain obstacles that might come your way. But like you said, it's a matter of what are you gonna do? Are you gonna complain about it, or you're gonna, you know, learn something of it, take something positive of it? So I think that that's huge. And then lastly, do you have any advice for any athlete that not necessarily just like wants to go pro, but any advice in college, like things like students for college, right? Because we have people that are viewing that I know some of my girls from the college I used to work at, I know that they're watching this because they're fans of yours. Like, what do you recommend based off your experience as a college athlete? What do you recommend in terms of schoolwork and in terms of practice and in terms of free time during school that you don't have class or practice? What advice do you have for them?
I think you first gotta know what you want to do, where you wanna be, and like discipline is everything. You gotta learn like what makes you a good and better athlete, and like work with that, like try hours to improve yourself, like we were talking about, like know yourself. If you need like to work extra on that, do it. If you need to rest. And also, like, if it's your dream to like be a pro or whatever you want to do, just work hard for that. Don't let anything stop you, you know? Don't let the little problem become a big problem.
Absolutely. And then to add on to that question, and this is like an opinion of yours that I want you to share with us, but what do you think was it for you that helped you and made, like, what did you do that somebody else maybe didn't do that got you where you are now? What is it that you think that you purposely, whether it was let's say you training extra or whatever, or you contacting certain people, like, why do you think you are where you are now?
I'm gonna say that work extra, and I learned that actually from Gemma. One time she told me a sentence that I always take with me, that she told me, like, I just work hard because, you know, when like people are like not doing anything, I know like when I play, I know that I'm gonna be better because I'm doing extra, you know? I'm doing something more than they're doing. She say something like that, and I was just like, she might be right. Like, if I prepare myself better or more than like the other person, I think I can achieve more in a game than that person, you know? So I guess like the extra work that I always been doing, and also the discipline that I been like doing that thing over and over, like every day, it's what took me and like it's taking me far in being like successful. I'm not where I want to be yet, because I still like want to achieve like something bigger, but I'm going on the way that I want to go.
You know, what stood out to me from what you said is that Gemma is a teammate of ours from what was your freshman year, right? And our second year in college. That just comes to show, in my opinion, that one person, right? One person's attitude can make a very big impact on you. And you just proved that, right? You're talking to me about you're telling me it was this one person that said this one thing that stuck to me, and it's what I still hold on to. And that's huge. That's awesome that you can still go back and be like, I remember this conversation of, you know, while they're sleeping, I'm out here working, and that's why I'm going to be better than them. And I do remember that, because Gemma would say stuff like that very often. Jem was actually somebody that I've spoken about of one of my experiences in college, because that work ethic, like that attitude, going back to attitude, right, is something that sticks and something that stands out and something that you do talk about later on in life with other friends or colleagues or teammates or people that look up to you. But yeah, so Kat, that's pretty much our time. I wanted to congratulate you, right? Congratulate you on everything that you've achieved, on the person that you are now. Because one thing that I say, and one thing that I honestly believe, is that, you know, you're not where you are right now just because of the way that you play. I think that the attitude that you carry, the positivity that you carry, right? The spirit that you are is incredible. And I think that has gotten you a long way. You've always been a very hardworking, very humble person from what I can remember as a teammate. And that's something that, you know, makes me very excited to speak to people like you and to hear your stories, right? So I wanted to congratulate you for the World Cup, your results, what it was, your just how much you've grown as an athlete and how much you've grown as a player. And I wanted to thank you for taking this time, making some time of your day to share this, and hopefully, you know, share information that other people can learn from, right? Because at some point, maybe this was your dream, maybe it wasn't, but now you're living it, and you're doing so great at what you're doing right now. And like you said, you have much more that you want to achieve. You are looking forward to a lot more things, and I know that you're going to accomplish all of that. So congrats. And like Mel just said, just us always.
Just us, always.
Just
I
us
miss
always.
it.
So yeah, I didn't know if you wanted to add anything.
No, I just also want to say thank you. Like this talk, this chat that we're doing is important also because like we want like to share experience to show people that it's possible to achieve things, you know. It's not just like it's not just a dream like far away. You can catch them, you know. So that's important. And thank you for inviting me here.
Of course, Tiff, just
And I
us.
miss
You're right.
you.
I miss you too, guys. All right. Thank you
Okay.
so much, Kat. Stay safe. Keep working out. Keep
You
putting up
too.
those videos. You're going to be motivating much more people. I'm going to be obviously tagging you on a lot of things so people that watch this could, you know, follow you and follow your journey, because that's
Yes.
huge. You're going so much more places than what you are now. Congrats. Stay safe.
You
And,
too.
you know, don't change. Be who you are, because you're incredible. All right.
Okay.
Take
Thank
care,
you.
Kat. Bye. Bye.
Bye.